being here. Oops. Today we are talking about the transformative tools and techniques for Masterful Neuro-Semantics training. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate your presence. And today, just the three of us, we've met before, so I'll skip the introductions and move into the session. In this we've got about 45 minutes or 60 minutes left. We'll be discussing on the skills that a neurosemantics trainer needs to have in order to masterfully carry out training. So very quickly, I'll go through the 9 preparation skills, the 7 core presentation skills, and there'll be 25 enrichment skills, 5 relational skills, and keynote skills, 2 keynote skills. All of these skills you can learn through the Neurosemantics Trainers Training to solidify your presentation skills, whether as a trainer or as a leader. Now, I would like to invite you to, when I cover all of these skills very quickly, which of these skills are already familiar to you in terms of you may have known it or you have been using it, or are there any surprises that you may encounter? As usual, I will pause for discussion at about the halfway point to hear your reactions, questions, or comments. So let's get to it to look into this topic on the skills that are, to me, critical when it comes to presenting and also training. So I mentioned to you 5 different types of skills that I'll be covering shortly. Now, before we go into that, why do we want to be looking into these skills? The reason being is that when we do not have these skills, then we may fall into the trap of making what we consider as rookie mistakes in the area of training. One is that overlooking audience needs, failing to understand the specific needs, background, and learning styles of participants. It can lead to ineffective training. The second one is that you may lack, there may be lack of clear objectives. Not setting clear, measurable learning objectives can result in unfocused training sessions. Another one is neglecting engagement. New trainers sometimes struggle to engage participants throughout the session. Ignoring feedback. New trainers might dismiss or avoid seeking feedback from participants, maybe because they don't feel so confident in the skills that cause that to happen. And, what I have experienced as well is sometimes because trainers lacking in the skills that they need, they just go into overloading content. It's all about data dumping. And when you are dumping data, nobody benefits from that. And if I may share an example that my daughter, she's now 25, 26, but when she was in secondary school, I think at that time she was about 16 or 17, attended, you know, when you're in schools, they send you for all these training courses. So she was at one of these courses, and all the students on the second day, all of the students were ready for the trainer. Training was supposed to start at 9, and the trainer turned up 1.5 hours later. So there you go. This is a mistake that sometimes when people don't understand that, they can make that kind of mistake. Yeah, it's a rookie mistake. And the thing about my daughter, when she related that to me, is that because she's been following us to training since she was 3 years old. She was so adamant when she came back. Mommy and daddy will never do that. Mommy and daddy will always be in the room half an hour before the session starts. And she was venting out to us. So when people, they don't have the skills, they overlook those things, and you just disengage the participants. Now, on the flip side is that when you have the skills of presenting and training, one benefit is that you'll be able to make masterful presentations. In the Neuro-Semantics Trainers Training, it provides an in-depth exploration of platform and enrichment skills. We are going to cover that afterwards. The other is you'll have the unshakable composure and presence, which means you'll navigate high-pressure situations with grace and maintain a centered presence. Another one is in-depth understanding of neurosemantics. And neurosemantics is about how people operate. Having this in-depth knowledge equips you with the understanding and influence human perception and behavior on a profound level. That makes the training much more impactful. Another is advanced business skills for trainers. That's covered as well. And the other is recognition and certification from a well-known body. So these are some of the benefits that you may gain from attending the Neuro-Semantics Trainers Training. So let's quickly go into the 9 preparation skills of Neuro-Semantics. And before I continue on, just like to welcome Rabi Atul, who's joined us, and there's another Daniel Tan who's just joined us. There's a private joke between me and Danny. Okay, so let's take a look. So we call them preparation skills is because before you even present yourself, start training, you need to prepare yourself to be ready to present. So what are they? Okay, the first one is called the uninsultability pattern. The uninsultability pattern. Notice the word insult in the middle. This is about emotional resilience. This pattern cultivates emotional resilience, allowing the trainers to remain composed and focused even in the face of challenging or critical situations. And I'm going to ask you right now, think about situation whereby you are presenting or training and you have resistance from the participants, from the audience. So being uninsultable is a very, I would say, a crucial aspect that a trainer need to have. Another one is that to have this ability to be gloriously fallible. Notice there is the word pattern at the end. In NSTT, we program ourselves to be gloriously fallible. What it means is that to have the relatability and authenticity. Embracing fallibility fosters authenticity. Trainers who openly acknowledge their imperfections create a relatable and trustworthy connection with participants. So meaning to say, when you are gloriously fallible, you are not worried about making mistakes and all that. You don't need to put on a show that you're perfect, you know everything. And by being fallible in that way, the participants see you as somebody who is authentic and they can relate to you. The other one is core question pattern. Core question is about you as a trainer understanding the core question about your being there. So it facilitates deep learning because it encourages participants to explore core questions, stimulates critical thinking, and leads to deeper understanding and internalization of the content. The fourth one is presence of mind under pressure. Maintains composure. This skill enables trainers to maintain clarity and effectiveness, even in high-pressure situations, ensuring that the training remains impactful. Just think for a moment, you're about to continue with the training, and suddenly there's a blackout. So how do you maintain that presence of mind in that scenario? So next one is personal efficiency pattern. This is about maximizing productivity. By optimizing personal efficiency, trainers can allocate time and resources effectively, allowing for better preparation and delivery of training content. I typically say to my clients is that whenever I prepare for training, I will go for over preparation rather than under prepare. Because when I over prepare, I'm ready for any untoward things that can happen, right? So that's personal efficiency is critical for trainers as well. Next one is releasing judgment pattern. Why? It's important for a trainer to not be judgmental. It encourages open-mindedness. Releasing judgment fosters an open-minded approach, allowing trainers to embrace the diverse perspectives and create an inclusive learning environment. So if we as a trainer keeps judging the participants this way and that way, that gets in the way of the learning process. Another one is accepting incompetence. Accepting incompetence in ourselves and accepting the incompetence in others as well. This fosters the growth mindset, embracing areas of incompetence as opportunities for growth. Trainers, it cultivates a growth mindset. So trainers become more receptive to learning and adapting their approach. Number 8 is being centered. It enhances presence. Being centered allows trainers to exude a calm and focused presence. This presence is palpable to participants and contributes to a conducive learning atmosphere. We communicate from state to state. So when the trainer is in that state of calm, curious state, it also helps the participants to get into that state. And number 9, there is getting real. It establishes authority. Getting real involves being genuine and transparent. Trainers who are authentic create an environment where participants feel safe to engage. So these are the preparation skills. And if I may share with you one experience that I had. I was conducting a training for a group of lecturers, and these lecturers are all PhD lecturers moving up to the next stage of being an associate professor. So they are highly qualified academically, and during one of those trainings, there were a few series. During one of the series, a series is a 3-day training program. During one of the series, I was heckled by one of the lecturers. At every point that I made, he would object to it. In the beginning, when he objected to it, then I would give my counter point of view. And if I were to do that, he'll counter that again. And in the beginning, it was taking a lot of time. And I noticed that as a pattern. Every point that I brought, he will argue against it. However, I need to move. So all that I did was just to remain calm, listen to his objections, and just thank him for his opinion and move to the next one, next point. And he would object to it again. After, I think, about half a day, he noticed that I will not engage in argument. He stopped objecting. However, he was still not happy with my being there. At every time that I would make a point, he would just rubbish me under his breath, or say I would like rubbish. rubbish, that kind of thing. So just to be able to remain calm and continue the training. It so happened that the other lecturers were tired of his behavior. By about tea time, I noticed that he was gone. And I asked the lecturers, where did that lecturer go? And one of them said, no, we asked him to leave. He was such a he was such a disturbance. So by maintaining my presence, by being respectful, by not reacting to that heckling, I gained the trust of the other participants, and it worked in my favor. So having all of these preparation skills truly help when we are in that scenario. Okay. So let's move to the 7 core presentation skills. Now, in the NSTT, Neuro-Semantics Trainers Training, these are the core skills that will be benchmarked on. So we need to, Selena, I'm also referring to you. These are the 7 skills that will be benchmarked to the level of 2.5 in order to pass the NSTT. The first core skill is the skill of formatting. It enhances learning styles. Formatting ensures that training content caters to various learning preferences. Now, there are 4 broad preferences. Those are asking the why question, those are asking the what question, those are asking the how question, those are asking the what if question. So when we present using the format, it encompasses that whole spectrum. So this leads to improved comprehension and retention among diverse participants. The reason being is that we human beings, we tend to be blindsided or blinkered to our own preference. So if I'm the technical detail guy, I just present all the technical details, the others will just die in the training classroom. So being to be able to have that spectrum to cater for different types of audience. The second one is voice effectiveness. It captivates attention. A trainer with effective voice modulation and clarity captures and maintains participants' attention, making the content more engaging and memorable. Next one is choreographing semantic space. This enhances comprehension. By organizing the physical space, you are there in front of them, there's that physical space. By organizing that physical space and utilizing visuals effectively, trainers provide a clear and structured environment that supports participants in understanding and internalizing the content. For example, I choreograph this space to be the past and this space to be the future. So every time I anchor this past and future, every time I move to here, participants will know that I'll be speaking about the past. And when I go here, the participants know that I'm speaking about the future. So using the non-verbals, the space itself to anchor meaning. That's what we are referring to, choreographing semantic space. Next one is state induction. Oh, this is critical because we communicate from state to state. So this facilitates learning absorption, inducing positive states in participants. For example, curiosity, confidence helps them absorb information more effectively, leading to better retention and application. Next is group rapport. Group rapport is something that you want to build within the first 2 minutes of the presentation because this fosters connection. Understanding and leveraging meta programs enables trainers to establish rapport with diverse groups, creating a sense of connection and trust amongst participants. Next one is engaging. people, when they attend training, they want to be there with you, to be engaged. So as a trainer, you want to deliberately engage them because it sustains interest. Engaging activities, discussions, and interactive elements keep participants actively involved. This sustained engagement ensures that the training content is absorbed and retained. So if people are not engaged, they will not be able to take all of that information. So keep them engaged. So that's another core skill. And the seventh one is the skill of framing. Meaning is context dependent. That's why we want to create frames, because frames provide context and perspective. Proper framing sets the context and perspective for the training, helping participants understand the relevance and purpose of the content. It creates a framework for effective learning. And just to give you an example of how when you bring in the framing, engagement, group rapport, state induction, and voice effectiveness come into play, I recall that there was one time that I was engaged to deliver a series of seminars for parents. And it is in Bahasa. We went to every state, 2 places in every state in Malaysia. So in the early part of the program, we were in this place in Batu Pahat. So this is for parents. So most of our attendees are middle-aged parents whose and it is in Bahasa, so whose only language in Bahasa Malaysia, and and we had 2 hours of our presentation. It's just that by engaging them, by getting into that rapport, we built the presentation up, whereby at the end of it, we were able to get them to sing along with us an English song. Okay, the greatest love of all. And many of them don't know English, but because we had been building that up over the 2-hour period, they were just so willingly singing along with us. So that's why the organizer of the program, who's there in every of the show, every time we meet him, even until today, he'll have this word to say, "Oh, Mazuki and Rosita, you know magic. You know magic. You can get all the pakcik and makcik to sing English song." However, it's not magic. It's about using all of these skills together. So it's science, not magic. Okay, I'll just pause here to invite any questions or comments or reactions that you may have with respect to those. And because time is critical, maybe we'll limit it to not more than 3, and then we can move to the next point. So anyone has got any reactions or comments or questions? Go ahead.
Mazuki, I have a question.
Yes.
One of the skill is to do the state induction.
Yes.
State induction. So let's say I'm to start the training. Do I do that in the beginning of the training, or I can actually do it according to the content required throughout the entire session?
Inducing state is what we do continuously, because we want people to be in the right state for that particular content. So if it is about delivering, say, detailed information, so we want them to be in the state of being detailed. So so if you are delivering content to get them to be excited to apply the knowledge, so we want to induce them into the state of excitement and anticipating. So yes, we are inducing state all the time. It's just that as trainers, we want to be clear about what is the state that I want to induce them into. That's all. So we are deliberately inducing states.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Rabiatul, Selina, you okay? So let's move on to a few more points. Right. Next are the 25 enrichment skills. So these 25 skills will enrich the whole presentation. And with these 25 enrichment skills, I'm not going to explain each of those skills. I'm just going to inform you. And as I mentioned to you, which of these skills you are already familiar with, and I would like you to take note of the ones that you may not be familiar with. So let's take a look. What are the 25 enrichment skills? One is metaphor. Next is storytelling. Next is memorable. And number 4 is co-training. Co-training means to say you are there with another trainer. Yeah, co-training. Next is speaking hypnotically. There are times that you want them to move from one state to another. Speaking hypnotically is another enrichment skill. Next is interviewing. That's also a very powerful skill to use as a trainer. And demonstrating, timing, questions and answers. This is critical. And when you, especially when you are steady at the core, questions come in even when you don't know the answers. It is comfortable for you to be able to say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. So that's all. Some frequently I will say that I invite questions from everyone. If you have questions that I don't know the answer to, please allow me to say that I don't know and not fake an answer. Okay. Number 10 is improvising, because things will frequently not come up according to what you prepared. Unpacking. Unpacking relates to when the participants come up with a certain content, to be able to look at the categories and the processes. Next is loops, opening and closing. You open a loop and you go into a certain content, and then you close loops. So that's loops, opening and closing. Installation of skills. Then humor. So that's another skill to bring in, because some people are so serious, because being serious is what makes them happy. So that's okay. So bring in humor into the learning classroom, remembering to help the participants to remember, setting up for exercises, because we are talking about building skills. Without exercises for them to do, they will not learn those skills. So setting up exercises. Room setup. You want to take full control of the training room environment, so you need to have that skill. Using technology. What's the latest technology to be able to use for the training? Rituals and routines, especially when you have training program that lasts more than 2 days. You want to establish rituals and routines, because it creates that sense of comfort and security for the participants. Then icebreakers, to get people to be with you, to be comfortable in the training room. And energizers, because we go through energy levels. So there are times that we want to bring the energy up. So those are energizers. And challenging. Challenging here is to get people to challenge their thinking, to go beyond what they are comfortable at. And confrontation, to be able to look at our own thinking and to be able to reevaluate what we have. And number 24 is evaluating trainings. because in as much as we have all of those knowledge and skills and experience, we want to continue to evaluate trainings, whether they meet the requirements that we have. And number 25 is to wrap things up. So these are 25 enrichment skills. I just went through very quickly. As a trainer, when you have these skills, then your training becomes much richer in that sense. Okay. Now I'll move on to the 5 relational skills. So the 5 relational skills, what are they? One is the skill of handling your team. This enhances collaboration. Effectively managing a team fosters a collaborative environment where team members work together cohesively towards common training objectives. So to be able to create those teams, the learning teams in the training classroom, and to help to manage that. Second one is managing yourself. Maintains professionalism. Self-management ensures that trainers exhibit a high degree of professionalism, setting a positive example for participants and creating a conducive learning atmosphere. Remember, I gave the example about my daughter complaining about the trainer, whereby all the students were waiting for him for 1.5 hours to show up. That is entirely unprofessional. So managing yourself. As trainers, we need to be able to do that. The next one is managing your schedule. It ensures efficiency. Efficient time management allows trainers to allocate time effectively for preparation, delivery, and reflection. And this leads to more effective and impactful training sessions. This is not about data dumping. This is about getting people to get a certain amount of knowledge, get an understanding of that knowledge, and how to apply it. So when we manage our schedule in delivering the training in that way, they will be given the opportunity to play around with that knowledge and practice it. So that's how the training becomes more impactful. Number 4 here is managing group dynamics. This fosters inclusivity. Skillful management of group dynamics ensures that all participants feel included and valued, creating a positive and inclusive learning environment. This is especially important when you conduct public training, where people sign up individually and they don't even know one another before the training starts. So to be able to manage that group dynamics, even when you conduct in-house trainings, you can have people coming from different departments that they have never met each other before, even though they work from the same company. Okay. And number 5 here is handling group problems. This allows you to resolve conflicts. Addressing group problems promptly and effectively resolves conflicts, allowing training sessions to proceed smoothly and ensuring that participants remain engaged and focused. You cannot ignore. If you were to ignore conflicts, then it will burst out. So to have the skill to handle group problems. So these are 5 skills in the category of relating to participants. When you have these 5 skills, it allows you to handle the participants all that much better. Right? And finally, there are 2 more skills, especially if you are keynoting. You are invited to be a keynote speaker. Anyone has been invited to be a keynote speaker? Kim, Danielle, as a keynote speaker. Right? As a keynote speaker, 2 more skills you want to add to your repertoire. One is the skill of entertaining. maintains engagement, and entertaining presentation captivates the audience's attention, ensuring that the participants remain engaged and receptive to the training content. I tend to use, for my training, I use the word edutainment. Edu for educating them, train is for training them, ment is for entertainment. So bringing in all those together. So in keynote present skills, you want to be able to entertain the participants, and the other one is to inspire them, the skill of inspiration. Yeah. This motivates action, because let's say you are invited as a keynote speaker, say for an hour or an hour and a half. You do not want to leave them cold in the seats. So you want to motivate them to a certain action. Delivering an inspiring keynote encourages the participants to take action, motivating them to apply what they've learned and make positive changes in their professional and personal lives. So these are the three more categories of training skills: the enrichment skills, relational skills, and keynote skills. So I've got an overview over here of all the skills that I mentioned. Now, I'm not sure how well you are able to see it, because if you're using a handphone to join us, then it will be very small. So I started off with showing to you the preparations. The preparations, there are 9 skills there for preparation, just to get yourself prepared to train. And then we have the 7 core presentation skills, and there are the 25 enrichment skills, the 5 relational skills, and 2 keynote skills. So when you bring all of these skills together and put them out as a competency, that's when you become masterful in your training. So that about wraps up what I've prepared to present to you. I hope that it has given you some ideas that you can use. So let me just open up for some questions, comments, or reactions. Go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Me again, Mazuki. I had been in a situation during a training where there were some participants. The group is actually a mixture of the top management and operation level people.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I deliver the content and then given them the exercise to actually have a group discussions on, the things that they can improve under that topic, that is where the issues start coming up, where the operation level people actually start complaining about things that they are not able to overcome due to the, I don't know, maybe lack of the support from the management. So I can sense actually there are conflicts. So yeah, because just now one of the relational skills is to manage the group problems, right? So
Yeah.
in this kind of situation, what would be I would like to know, how would you handle the situation?
Okay. First of all, you need to remind yourself you are not there to solve their problems. They need to solve their problems. So this is also where facilitation skills come in. To be able to okay, when I talk about facilitation skills, there are 2 categories of things that you need to facilitate there. One is what we call the cognitive, the intellectual problem that they are bringing up. That I would consider that as secondary, actually, the intellectual problem. Let's say the problem is my boss doesn't give clear instruction, and because of that, when I do something, it's always I'm told that I did something wrong. That is the cognitive part. Actually, that's the secondary part. When you have conflict, you need to facilitate the emotional content. That's the first one that needs to be facilitated. So to be able to be calm and rising above the issue, allowing those issues to come up in a healthy way. So one is that to frame. How do you bring issues up in a way that is respectful to another person? To frame that we are looking for solutions, not for airing our problems. So those frames needs to come up first. As I'm saying that, one of my clients had a so-called heart-to-heart session with the staff. Without the frame, it turned out to be everybody venting out their disappointment and all that, and it goes out of the window. So one of the skills in the core skills about framing, setting those frames. One of the frame to set is that I am not here to solve your problems, because you know more about your problem. So let's have a civil discussion about it. You see, because if the problems have already surfaced, no use for you to say, okay, let's keep it there so that I can continue with my syllabus. No, because they will be stuck there. So you need to facilitate that. Yeah. When you said that, one of the experiences that I had when I was invited to conduct the series of training for this particular university, even before I started training, the person in charge who invited me to be the trainer for that gave me the warning, said, look, our lecturers are they are rather picky if the trainer is condescending or what. They are not happy with it. We've had 2 trainers already being rejected by these lecturers. They were shouted out of the room.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll do my best what I can do. And for me, what worked was when I mentioned to you about facilitation and framing. I went in there, I started off with the frame. I'm Mazuki, and my background was in engineering, and I have a degree in civil engineering. That's all. You not only have degrees, you have postgraduate degrees, because all of you are PhDs in your particular areas. So in the area of academics, there's nothing that I can teach you because you know more than me. So I'm setting that frame. You know more than me. I'm not here to teach you about your jobs. I'm just sharing with you certain techniques and strategies with respect to communication, leadership, and also teamwork. Yeah. And when I went into that, instead of teaching, I went into facilitating. So getting answers from them. So from the word go, they are relaxed. They know that I'm not going to, I'm not trying to be the smart aleck, teach all of this PhD. So I've got that out of the window, and I just facilitate. So when I'm facilitating, they are coming in with their ideas. They so enjoyed it. Guess what? It's supposed to be a 3-day program. By the end of the first day, they're calling me professor already.
Wow.
Because they are learning so much from each other. And I pointed it out to them. You are learning from one another. I'm just facilitating the discussion. So this is where, as trainers as well, when we go in, and you notice things cropping up from the participants, to give the, I would say, to let them know that they are the experts to solve that problem. You are just there to facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the preparation skill about uninsultable, the preparation skill of being gloriously fallible comes in. You don't have any reservation to say that, no, I don't know about this. You know much better than I do. Why don't you give the... So those are things that you can bring into the training classroom.
Wow, thank you. I never thought of that strategy. Yeah, thank you so much, Mazuki.
You're welcome. And the other thing is that, especially when you are facilitating a group of experts, when there are questions, resist the temptation, because automatically when people ask question, we want to answer, right?
Yeah.
Resist the temptation to give the first answer. Somebody asks question, so you throw that question back to the room. So anybody has got an answer to that. So now you are putting them at the level of experts that they are, and they enjoy the training more.
Yeah, because they are all professor, right? So
yeah,
that's what they do. Teach. Okay.
Imagine that I only have a
It's a
degree,
great
they have
idea.
PhD, and they call me professor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Selena, how about you?
Yes.
Did I scare you with all of the skills?
Yes, a little bit. Want to ask you about the keynote skill.
Sorry?
Keynote skill. You mentioned the keynote skill, entertaining. So you say that the education, training, and entertaining. So I curious how to balance out or how to manage that, because sometimes when it comes to entertaining, correct me, maybe I have wrong perception about entertaining, because entertaining sometimes we are like take it very lightly, very chilly and like humorous. But then as the trainer, how do you handle like, I'm entertaining you, but in the meanwhile, I do have my how to say that? I have my firm as the trainer's position. It's like I'm still the one that here to provide you training. Because some people may say like, oh, you are like, entertaining us here, but in the meanwhile, you are educating us.
Okay. If I get you right, how do we entertain at the same time train?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is something that when people don't understand what we mean by entertaining the audience while we are training, I've come across trainers because they think that they need to entertain, and they start to put up on the PowerPoint jokes that they pick up from internet and all that. Maybe for about 15 minutes, everybody laughing at that joke. We are not talking about those kinds of entertainment. Everything that you do in the training classroom is geared towards achieving the training objective, the learning objective. It's just that we are bringing it in a way that is fun and enjoyable for them. So we don't create activities, fun activities, frivolously just because it's fun. We bring in fun activities that promotes the learning. So you can, for example, if you're teaching people about framing, bringing examples of framing that can humorous, that makes it fun. Bringing it in a way that they discuss with one another, that creates that that element of fun. So everything is geared towards achieving that. And how I frame it is that when you are in the training classroom or in the context of keynote, you are in giving a keynote address, what I keep reminding myself is that who's the star of the show? The star of the show are the participants, not me. I'm just there so that they, the stars, can shine. So if I have to do something silly just to get them to get that understanding that I want to bring, I'll be the fun guy and be that somebody silly. Because the star of the show are the audience. And I'll do whatever that it takes that gets them to learn and understand. So that's what I'm referring to, and entertaining. So they find joy and laughter in the classroom, and all of that joy and laughter brings to the objective of the training or even keynote. Yeah, so everything is geared towards that, and the words that I keep repeating to myself to remind myself is that nothing that I do in the training classroom should be frivolous. Frivolous meaning to say I do something just for the sake of fun. I'll do something that is fun for the sake of the learning. So that's what we are referring to as entertaining. I hope you get that distinction.
Yes, yes, yes. Because sometimes we like having a training, then we like need to have some games to warm up to or even like after the break time to make them like, you are come back here. Yeah, you need to wake up, it's not sleepy. So we may arrange some game. So but then it's like entertaining.
Yes, yes, entertaining. Yeah, and when you bring in the games, you want to bring in games that will promote the learning. So, for example, they just come back after a heavy lunch. Their bodies might be heavy, so I'll bring in just some stretching, because stretching allows the blood circulation. However, when they come back after tea break, they are not so heavy. I'll bring in some activities which are slightly more upbeat. Yeah. At the same time, those activities are what we call psychomotor activities, because by psychomotor activities, for example, you do the cross pattern movement, you're engaging both the left and the right side of the brain. So it's not merely for the sake of dancing, pocho pocho, or whatever is the flavor of the month dance that people have, but movements that are contributing towards activating the thinking process. So I have activities like brain gym. So these are what we call psychomotor activities that enhances the I would say the focus process. So yeah, we bring, even in energizers, we just don't bring any old energizer. It's about getting what is the objective behind it. Yeah. And my background conducting training for little children, and the energizers must be of higher degree. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or reactions? Right. No. So what I'll do is that just to probably make an announcement before we end. However, before the announcement, I would just like to go around the room just to hear from you. What's your one or two takeaways from this session for this evening, so that I can know what is the value, what is the benefit that you're getting from this session. So I'll start off at the bottom of my screen. Selina, go ahead. So what's your takeaway?
I think away I heard again, you mentioned that it's okay as the trainer to say, I don't know.
Thank you, Selina. I'll move on to Rabiatul. Go ahead. What's your takeaway for today? If you can access your mic. No? That's all right. Thank you. Danielle, go ahead.
Thank you. I think my key takeaway would be the questions that I asked just now. How to handle group problem, manage the group problem. You reminded me the skill that I already learned last time during ACMC, which is the facilitation, the framing. Yeah, so I never thought of that. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Kim, go ahead.
Well, I realized that I may not really be appropriate for this meeting because I came in without realizing that it's really for trainers, training the trainers. And I'm nowhere near training, nowhere near a trainer. But what I've realized is that my experience in terms of some of the speaking that I do involves much of the skills that you have mentioned. And it's only because in this group, you're talking about neuro-semantics. And then I realized how crucial neuro-semantics is in all these skills. It is so well embedded in these skills that those without those skills would be all the less effective because they don't have those skills. And I think neurosemantic skills give one, a real edge over others. Yeah, and from that, I appreciate what I've learned today. Generally, how powerful neurosemantics knowledge is, in addition to what a person may already know. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's most meaningful. Thank you very much, Kim.
Yeah.
So before we end, just like to announce one announcement that I would like to make is that, and it's particularly for Selina as well, that we'll be having the Neuro-Semantics trainers training in May and June of 2024. And if you want to know more about it, you can contact Danielle using that email address. So that's what we have prepared for the training. So coming to the close, I would like to say thank you for your presence and participation in this meeting. I look forward to meeting all of you in our next meeting. And I wish you an exceptional quality of life filled with happiness, creativity, and fulfillment. With that, I'm signing off. Thank you very much. And Danielle, I would like to invite you to close the meeting then.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazuki, for the wonderful sharing tonight. And we appreciate your participations as well. So hope to see you next month. Thank you and have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, thank you, Rabiatul. Yeah, I see that chat. Bye.